Our very favorite Alice, Lisa Wilcox. And then we have, of course, Miss Tuesday night. Peace. And Toy News for everybody. I really hate these tall chairs, ladies. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I refixed them on principle, so.
At least my panties match my shoes.
Tall boy.
I'm gonna have to sit properly. It's not gonna be natural for me.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. I think I speak for a lot of folks in this room where we all know that Dream Master absolutely rules. It's, you know, it was a movie that kind of came out, 3 did pretty well, but 4 came along and it changed everything. So I'm curious for the 4 of you ladies, what was your career like pre-Dream Master and how did it shift after? And I guess Lisa, we'll start with you.
Pre-Dream Master. Well, I had just finished UCLA, the theater arts degree, and I had done 1 guest star on Hardcastle McCormick. Most of you are too young to probably remember that show. But okay, right on. And then I did like I had a role on General Hospital for about 6 months, and I did a little stint, teenage pregnant girl on Young and the Restless. And I'd only done 1 film called Give Me an F, and at the time it was called The Big Cheer. Fabulous, it's funny. Sandy, are you here? She loves this movie. Anyway, it's really fun. But I hadn't done very much, and then the opportunity came up to audition for what's happening. What are you doing?
I know, I'm filming them. When I turn it around on us, they're laughing. I'm stealing the limelight. I'm so sorry. Not mean to do that.
So typical. Actresses. Right. You want to just talk for me?
You see the spotlight and you just lose your mind.
Anyway, sorry, I'm taking so long to say this, but so there really hadn't been very much. But I was always a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. Since I was little, I loved vampires and paranormal and ghosts and horror. What the hell is your problem?
There's a sideshow going on over here, and it's Brooks and the Follies. And
You know what, Brooke?
she hasn't been to a panel in a very long time, guys. So
All right, Brooke, do we need to put you in the corner?
It's time for discipline.
Oh my God.
So sorry.
I'll just let her calm down. Are we good? Okay, so I was put up for the role, and my manager said, no, they won't see you, And my headshot at the time was the black and white headshots, remember, ladies? And, I had the blonde, the mascara, the 80s makeup, and all that. So it was not at all their vision of Alice whatsoever, okay? So, but anyway, Annette Benson, who was casting director, she tells me the story. They went through like hundreds of actresses in LA, and they couldn't find their Alice. And so finally, they went through, the garbage where I was, my headshot, pulled it out, like, well, what the hell, let's give this chick a try. And I auditioned with Tuesday. She was cast first because she was, reprising the role of Kristen. And read with her and had 1 call back, and then I learned on my honeymoon that I had gotten a Nightmare on Elm Street. So ever since then, and now today, over 30 years later, this is what we're looking at, and I had no idea the franchise would flourish as much as it did. 4 was like, top of the box office, but all these years later, and here it is, and people still are saying how Alice inspired them and got them through Beth. It's just amazing. It's just like a gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So I guess how we could describe it. So, and it helped launch me to act, bigger roles and opportunities and that kind of thing for sure. Okay. It would have been shorter, but Brooke was a pain in the ass.
I just want to know if you're going to do this to me. No, I'm totally kidding. You're adorable. I'm kidding. We love each other. Let's see. Before Nightmare, I had done a few things. Basically, I started out in music, so I did that first. I got a record deal, and I did that. And then there was somebody who said there was an audition for a show called Fame, which I'm sure you guys know. and they wanted somebody who looked like Madonna, and so I guess they had seen like 1,000 people. Anyways, I got that part, which led to an audition with Annette Benson for Nightmare on Elm Street. And
Always thought you looked like her.
have you?
No, always.
Oh my
Even when
God.
you were singing up here, what did I say to you?
Really? Did
Oh
you
my
have
God.
amazing pictures back then of like
And you still
Madonna
look so much
lookalike?
like Madonna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Anyway.
It's like she's in a special, she's in a special ed class right now. She's like, Brooke, thank you very much. Thank you for adding that.
Yes, anyway, so after I got Nightmare, it opened a lot of doors, and I started doing movies, and I had brought Brooke along with me so she could actually audition for me, because she would do the talking for me. But anyway, since then I did the song in Nightmare on Elm Street, which was really amazing, and I was so grateful for that. And thank you. And since then I've been able to do a lot of title songs for other movies, and have a couple movies I'm doing this year, and one coming out with Lisa actually at the end of the year called The Bloody Man, which I hope you guys will see. And yeah.
We don't have any scenes together, but we are in the same movie.
But we are in the same movie and the same poster. Yes. So that's kind of my story. Brooke, it is your time.
I've already taken up my allotted time.
Okay, so then I'll go. Go ahead, darling. You're itching in the pants right now.
I have no story to tell. I
Just make a ruckus.
just make a ruckus. Anyhow, so I had done just the 10 of us for about a season, and then on hiatus I auditioned for Nightmare on Elm Street. See, now he's taking my line. I'm totally kidding.
Everyone, Don Johnson.
Don Johnson.
Hey, I gotta do my cameo.
Oh yeah. Oh.
my gosh.
Here's your baby, Lisa.
Yeah. Look what we found on the way to the forum. My goodness.
I gotta go.
Wobbly head and everything. Great. Okay.
He's a little deformed or something.
Anyhow,
Are you saying
so-
something about my child?
I think he did it. I don't know who he did that with.
He's got quite the jiggly head. So then Toy's giving me a finger wagging over here. I'm like, eyeballs. She's not even a mother, but okay. Anyhow, so I went back to just the 10 of us after I filmed Nightmare, and I was blessed to be on that show for a couple of seasons. So that was kind of my focus after that. And then, so I did mostly television. I would love to do another horror movie one day.
Gosh, I was working a lot in television, Different Strokes, 227, and then I was up for a role on A Different World, and it was Cree Summer's role, Freddie, and I just really wanted it, was focusing on it. And then Nightmare came up, and it was really juxtaposed right next to my audition with Nightmare on Elm Street. And so when my agent finally called me and said, you booked your role, I was like, yes, because Debbie Allen fame was like my hero. I danced on tables and got in trouble and stuff. And so I was like, I got A Different World. And she's like, no, honey, you got A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I didn't really watch horror movies. My father, when I was 5 years old, took me to go see The Shining. And
Well, after that, I don't think you'd go again.
and so he didn't tell my mother, and then we went to dinner that night, and we were all sitting around the dinner table, because we did that as a family. And I was very, very quiet, and my mom finally looked at me and said, Toy, what is wrong with you? And, I got the nerve up inside of me, and I said, Daddy's gonna kill us. It kind of scarred me, horror movies. So when I got the movie, I was like, I had never seen Nightmare 1, because I'm truly scared of horror movies. I believe it. I buy into it. I remember when I came to visit you on set, when you were filming in the boiler room up in Pasadena.
Yeah,
and I walked up this dirt road, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out with Tuesday and say hi. And Robert came over the hill, and I was like, ah! And he was just like, get the Toy. Now listen to me, honey. We gotta shoot, and you can't. And I was just like, I was legitimately scared. So after that, after Nightmare, I took the ride, and I ended up getting 2 seasons later, A Different World. And Jada Pinkett ended up taking over my role, so that was short-lived. And yeah, and then I kind of did a couple more movies, independent movies, and then some commish and a lot of the, you know, NYPD Blues and blah, blah, blah. And then I moved over, I had my Me Too moment, and I was screen testing for a movie, and I was told some things of how I could actually get that job. And
God, I wonder how that was.
yeah, you know, and I had never, because I'd been a child actor since I was 5, and so I broke down, I said some things to this man they told me I shouldn't have said. My agent ended up firing me. It was like a debacle, and so I walked off the lot, and I was in tears, and I ran into a producer that had hired me when I was 16 years old, and I told him, you know, I was like, I was 25, I was like, this is what just happened. And he's like, come meet me at my office on Monday, and I thought, oh God, another one? And he went, you know, and I went though. My mom's like, no, you gotta trust, you gotta get back on that horse and don't let someone, and he ended up getting me a job at Quentin Tarantino's A Band Apart, and I started producing and directing and writing for them.
She dropped it again.
I'm gonna be the teacher in classroom, like, it's gonna stay there till we're done now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the right
Standards.
but obviously, you know, there's such a great camaraderie between this cast. In fact, you guys were here a few years ago, and we had the guys here as well. And I think that infectious, you know, energy between you guys is part of the reason that we love Dream Masters so much, because these are people you'd want to hang out with, people you'd want to, you know, be silly with, and there's a real chemistry. Like there's the frightful, you know, there's the Freddy stuff, but yet there's the moments in the diner, you know, and some really great stuff. Like, did Rennie give you guys a lot of time to come together as a group, or was it just, it all came naturally?
Well, I like to say that Annette Benson did amazing casting. She cast friends for life, because these ladies are friends for life. And so many times you do a film or a TV series or whatever you're doing, and then when it's done, you never see those people again. You just don't. This group, of course, the conventions help, but we go out of our way to see each other in Los Angeles. I mean, we're honestly really, really tight friends. I don't know, Rennie, did Rennie give a lot of time? I know you guys were, you know.
I think he did. I mean, I think it was also his input too with the cast, you know, because after Annette, then he had to go further with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was really cool, because when I was cast first, he, you know, brought Lisa in and all these people, and he was asking me my opinion, and it was funny because I said all these people were great, and they actually got cast, so it was really, really cool.
So really, it's thanks to Tuesday that we're in this movie.
That's right.
No. But I think we had just a natural chemistry together, you know, and we really do, you know.
But Rennie did have that gathering where we kind of all got together. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then we got together a couple times before that, like
before
just
we
to get to
started
know each
filming.
other.
I don't think I went.
You had to go.
I had to go.
To your, weren't you going? You were getting married.
Because I got married. The callback was on a Friday, and then got married on Sunday, and then was in Hawaii on my honeymoon when I learned I got the role. And so, yeah, I didn't get to go to the gathering, and I had to leave my honeymoon early, and he's now my ex-husband because he wasn't happy that I had to leave for the honeymoon early. He'd go to
You never forgave
big
her.
job.
Hang on to that.
Such one.
Rennie did bring us together. I always kind of credit him for bringing us together at those barbecues, a couple of barbecues, and we got to hang out. So I feel like the first day of shooting, we were all already connected because we were kind of friends already. And when you're young like that, you're like, you know, you're like desperate to like connect, and especially with fellow actors, and we're all young and newbies, and you know, so.
Yeah, and they stuck us together immediately. Like
I
we
know.
shared a dressing room,
Boy, was my girl.
And then we actually found out that we wore the same prom dress the same year before. And it was so 80s, like it was, black sequins with a taffeta white down here. It was hung with these little
Love
black
that. Well, at
bows.
least
Didn't you think it was like the best dress ever? I mean, and then I look at it now, I'm like, what? And then my hair was up in this big thing. So when I showed her my dress, I don't know how we even got on it. We showed pictures. We're like, oh, God, we're really meant to be friends. We have the same dress.
Who did you share a dressing room
You
with?
guys had your own
I
room.
had my own.
Did you? They put me with Andros, so that was the first step.
Oh, that was interesting.
Did they really? Yeah, male, female.
Well,
It was split in the middle like that.
We had the accordion doors,
Yeah.
and we would just
Yes.
open ours. So we had one big living room.
I kept mine closed over for a while. Then I opened it.
In so many ways.
It was the karate, wasn't it?
Or the hair.
It was the hair.
The singing, the guitar.
How long did you guys date?
3 years. Yeah.
I did not know that. I know we should open up through the floor, but I've always wanted to ask this, Brooke. I recently spoke to Screaming Mad George about, and he spoke very, very highly of you. And I would love to hear about your experiences in your transformation scene, because this franchise has a lot of really great moments for effects, but I still think the cockroach scene is probably one of my very favorites ever.
Yeah. Screaming Mad George is just stupid talented, and he's really, if you've never, if you're not friends with him on Facebook or have ever seen like him being interviewed, he's this little teeny Asian guy with a massively different colored hair, purple, green, orange, you name it, and he laughs at everything. Like everything is funny. Like he'll go. And I know it's
So I remember I laughed. A crazy laugh.
yeah, and it was like, oh my God, I think I love this man. And yeah, so my transformation probably took about, like if I were to count the days, probably about 2 weeks from the beginning of the cat, and then all the molds that you are tortured to two. Yeah, and you went through those two. I remember I showed up at his studio and he walks in. He had put literally a cockroach motel in the alleyway and brought it in because he wanted to dissect and look very intricately at the cockroach anatomy. And so he walks in with a roach motel and it's like packed, like roaches oozing out of it. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? So we did the molds. Face mold, body mold, all of that fun stuff. And then I had 3 sets. So we went from the workout room to the shrinking hallway to the actual cockroach motel. And we shot that probably over a week. I think maybe 5 days. The workout room and the hallway were, I think, 2 days, and then another 2 days maybe for the actual death scene. So it was probably some of the hardest work I'd ever done. And for everybody that doesn't know, I actually moved my cockroach arms. They weren't mechanical. So I had these little cups that I kind of put my elbows in, and then we had draped skin, and they did all of the painting on them. And then I put my arms, they were almost like giant sleeves, and I had a little handle, and then I moved them. They were all on hinges. So it was very fun.
Because I remember I was doing my special effects down the hall from, so I was just mesmerized because this big, huge hallway and she gets trapped. And so I'd always go over and watch her. But then I just remember when Rennie said, Brooke, can you make cockroach noises?
I was just going to ask about
And I just was like, what?
I know, it's like, do cockroaches make noises? Yeah, so then I was like, what would a bug sound like? So I'm like, I feel like I'm in acting class. Be a bug, okay.
That's when I knew I loved you.
Well, you just mentioned